Hey, what is going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you how to convert from the old legacy settings to the modern settings. Now, this will work if you're coming from really old Fortnite, you haven't played in a long time, but you remember your legacy settings. If you're coming from Fortnite Project Era, if you're coming from EasyFN, basically anything that uses the legacy settings and you're trying to convert to anything that uses the newer settings. So Project Beyond, Project Era UEFN, basically anything that's going to use the new settings, this video should help you convert. I do want to note there is some missing functionality, as you cannot have a scope sensitivity in the modern settings, so best of luck with your scoped weapons. You're just going to have to use the ADS sense. Now, while you did lose quite a bit of functionality to the new settings, you also gain new options like the horizontal and vertical boost, the ramp time, as well as look dampening time. The problem is these things don't exist, so effectively to convert, you're just going to have them at one fixed value, which will go right into. Now, to do this, I'm going to show you a spreadsheet because I did a conversion table as well as a chart to help you convert. So let's have a look at that. Okay, with the intro out of the way, I do want to get into just a couple notes real quick before we dive into how to do the conversion. Some of these are really important though, so really want to make these notes. Just quickly where I got this data from. This is actually data from when the new settings first came out. I had the thought that maybe I should make a conversion table in case I would need it in the future. And that's where this data is coming from. Basically, the copy from legacy settings, I'd go through, tick it up by 0.5, and then do the conversion and write it down. That's where this came from. You cannot convert from legacy to linear settings using this method. Really, any method. They're just too fundamentally different. You're going to have a bad time trying to do a direct conversion. Doesn't mean I don't think you should give it a chance. Try out linear, but don't try and convert from exponential or legacy to linear. That's not going to work. Think of this conversion like Celsius to Fahrenheit. So, although there are certain points on both X and Y where they line up exactly, that does not mean you can just copy over 0.6 to 60%. You're going to have a very bad time, as you would be making almost a 0.8 sensitivity on the modern settings. So don't do that. That's not going to work. X and Y are not the same, okay? So just because you get 44% on 0.67 on X, you're getting 54% on Y. So do not copy over your X. You do this once and then copy it over to the other one. That's not going to work. Boosts don't exist in legacy, so set those to 0. And look dampening time, use a default of 0.2, as that is what happens when you copy it over from legacy to modern settings. So I presume that's equivalent to legacy. Okay, let's jump into how to do this. Let's start out with base sense, which is easier than ADS sense. ADS sense, you're going to have to do a bit of math, but base sense, it's easy. All you're going to do is, if your sensitivity happens to line up exactly on a data point I've plotted out for you, easy. Then you just look one column to the right, and that's your conversion. So 0.6 goes to 38%. 0.6 on Y goes to 46%. If it's in between two data points, no problem. Just do the in between and make an estimation, right? So 0.62, say, you're in between 38 and 42%. Probably do about 40. Same thing here. Probably do 48 to 49%. Let's do a couple examples just to make sure this is clear. So let's start out with an easy example. Let's do 0.75, 0.75. Okay, so our X sensitivity is 0.75. Look on our chart here. That's equal to 53%. Okay, 0.75 on Y equal to 65%. Okay, let's do a little bit more difficult example. Let's say we have 0.52 on Y and say 0.48 on X. Okay, well, we just look in between these two right here. 0.45, 0.5, in between 27 and 30%, maybe 28 to 29%. And then we have our Y, 0.52. Look right here, in between 0.5 and 0.55. In between 37 and 41, probably do 39. Okay, that's easy. We should all be able to do this pretty easily. ADS is much more difficult, and I need to explain this, and I'm going to try and make this as clear as possible. On the legacy settings, you're going to have something called effective ADS sensitivity, which is critical to convert from legacy to new. If you do not calculate effective ADS, you cannot convert. Okay, let's do a really simple example. Your base is 0.8, 0.8, and you have an ADS multiplier of 0.5. Let's use 0.5. That's an easier conversion. Okay, so the ADS sensitivity, this is not a literal value. Your sensitivity is not 0.5. Your sensitivity is actually effectively 0.4 because you're multiplying the base sensitivity by the ADS to get an effective number. Why is this effective number important? Because on the new settings, the ADS sense, which is going to be in percentage, is a literal value, not a multiplier. So your ADS sensitivity on the new settings is entirely independent to your base. What that means is you could actually have a higher ADS sense in your base. If you had 52% ADS, 37% base, you would move faster with the ADS, which doesn't make sense. But the point is, your ADS is independent, but your legacy ADS is connected to the base. So you have to calculate the effective ADS to be able to convert over. Let's do some examples. Let's start out with a simple example. You have 0.8, 0.8 base, and a 0.5 multiplier. You're getting an effective ADS sense of 0.4. Okay, so what you do here then is you look at 0.4 as your legacy ADS sense, not 0.5, 0.4. Use the effective ADS that you calculated, which again is multiplying base by ADS. So that means your new ADS sensitivity on X is 24%, and your new ADS sense on Y is 29%. Let's do another example. Let's make it a little bit more difficult. Let's make the numbers more complicated. So let's do 0.65 base, 0.72 base, and an ADS multiplier of, say, 0.62, 0.62. I'm always making these the same as your ADS multiplier was the same across X and Y. Okay, so we have an effective ADS sense of 0.403 on X. So that's going to be just above 0.4. So because it's so close, that's basically a rounding error. Go with 24%. And then on your Y, it's just below 0.45, nearly rounding error. So I'd probably take that ADS sense of 33%. You could also do 32%. That'd be reasonable. Let's do one more example just to make sure this is crystal clear. We're going to say 0.87 X base, 0.84 Y base, multiplier of 0.58, 0.58. Okay. Our X sensitivity is 0.5, effectively 0.5. So we're going to look right here. 30% is our X ADS sense, and our Y is 0.4872. So just below 0.5. So we'll look in between these two. It's between 33 and 37. You probably want to go about 36%. I hope this is crystal clear. You can use the chart, or you could also use the graph. I really recommend using the chart because this is going to be a bit more precise. But if you just want a general idea of what it's going to look like, I put these graphs here as a visual representation. So I hope this helps you. If you have questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I want to make sure you guys are getting your sensitivity conversion right, as it's really important that when you convert from legacy to exponential, it feels familiar so you can get used to the different aim assist. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.